Welcome to Secrets of the Wandering Wolf. I'm your host, Tom, the Wandering Wolf, and today is episode 2 of Wisdom Wednesdays. And before I begin, I just want to say thank you for joining, showing up, tuning in, and listening from wherever you are, whenever you are. Today's episode is about perfection. In the last episode, we talked about how being a perfectionist gets in the way of taking the first step. But now we're going to imagine we took the first step. We've been taking steps. We've been doing the things. We're working on whatever it is we're trying to bring into the world. Perfection comes from doing. It comes from small, consistent acts over time that builds up the confidence to be able to do whatever it is we're trying to bring into the world effortlessly. We struggle with this idea of it has to be perfect and that it has to be perfect the first time, right away, as fast as possible. But perfection comes with time, which means you have to put time into whatever you're doing. Those small actions should be looked at as small wins. Every day you take a consistent action towards whatever it is you're bringing to the world is a small win. Every day you decide to meditate, to journal, to journey, to do a sigil, to do some form of magic, to study the Stoics, to study your craft, is another day of building perfection in what you're doing. And over time, it becomes second nature. This creates the image of perfection. And when you master your art, your craft, it becomes like an illusion to others. It's seamless, it's effortless, it works every time. Perfection sometimes is in the eyes of your audience before it's in your own eyes, before you can see it for yourself. And no matter what you do, you can always refine things over time. See, the path to perfection is full of trial and error and full of refinement. So if today and tomorrow and a year from now, it still doesn't feel right, remember you have a lifetime of working on whatever it is you're doing. When I began studying shamanism and the runes, I started taking on daily practices to deepen my connection with what I was doing and what I was studying. For the runes, it was a rune every day, a meditation, a bind rune, some type of journaling, and some form of practical work so that I had a deeper understanding of it. With shamanism was a hard one for me because I did a lot of work alone and in the woods and in the forests, on the mountains, by the rivers, in the dark. My time perfecting what I know and the art that I bring, the craft that I bring when I hold space, a lot of it isn't taught by a person. It's taught by the time I spent alone with the energies I work with when no one was watching. Perfecting your craft is understanding you're going to spend a lot of time alone doing it with no audience, no witness, no one's going to see it. This is the area of being perfect that is the hard part. And oftentimes the part no one sees. And when they do see it, they're like, oh wow, you're really good at that. You must have always been good at that. It's okay to feel some kind of way when they say that because all of the hard work wasn't seen. But just know in yourself that that's necessary if you want people to see what you're doing. When I took everything I learned from my time with the runes and developing in the shamanic areas that I'm perfecting even now, when I brought all of that to holding space, that's where I saw what was working and what needed to be changed. I saw where I needed to double down on cleansing methods, on drumming patterns, on calling in certain spirits, and I had to take the criticism and the advice that was given to me to heart and go back to the forest, go back to the mountains, go back into the dark. And what I mean by going back in the dark is just being in a dark space and journeying and communing and taking all that they said, bringing it to that space and learning, what do I need to fix? What do I need to refine? And actually, what should I take out? I'm trying to do too much. So let's simplify. Let's subtract. Take out all of the unnecessary things in whatever it is you're trying to do while trying to perfect something else. A good way to look at this is if you're trying to perfect writing, only write. Spend more time writing than listening to others talk to you about writing. Write so much that eventually it perfects itself. You start to realize your patterns. You start to work on yourself before you start bringing other people in. And that's another thing about working on being perfect is perfect the skill as much as you can until you hit a wall. And then say, hey, I've gotten this far. I could use your help. And go and ask someone who's actually doing it, who's actually built a life around it, who's got years with it, and is at a level of perfection you want to achieve. Don't ask someone for help who's right where you are, because they don't know how to get to the next step either. And that's some raw truth right there. Always find someone who's light years ahead of you, far away from where you're at. And I don't mean location-wise, I just mean skill-wise. And ask them for help. Because perfection comes from doing. And part of that is asking for help and guidance. Because the next level comes from you listening to what they have to say. And listening, more than speaking, is necessary when you want to take your craft to the next level. And we'll talk about that in the next episode. So remember that the small wins stack up over time. It builds confidence. The small actions you take every day bring the refinement to perfect your craft. And take your time, because time is what really brings out perfection. Thank you for joining me on this chilly Wednesday morning. And thank you for showing up to another episode of Wisdom Wednesdays. I hope that wherever you are, you're having a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Enjoy your day, enjoy your evening. And thank you for giving me some of your time. You can find in the description some links towards where you can find me on social media, as well as the school platform where I'm trying to build a community for the Wandering Wolves. I hope to see you there, and thank you for listening to Secrets of the Wandering Wolf.